Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining me. My name's Campbell, and today we are going to take another wander through the strange realm we find ourselves in. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that kind of good stuff, and let's jump into it.
Yo, what the F? The news is actually saying right now that 4 different kinds of alien, even a 7-foot tall lizard alien. I mean, are y'all getting this? And just wait till I show you how all of this stuff connects. First, watch this.
We are not alone. The Pentagon released the UFO file. The War Department says more files will be released soon. UFO experts and top researchers have been investigating aliens for years. Their sources say dozens of crashed UFOs have been recovered, and what they found inside, shocking.
And do people think that there's one type of non-human intelligence that's visiting the Earth, or is there many, many types?
People who have been involved in recoveries have said
there are at least 4 types, 4 separate types. Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to.
4 different types of life.
4 different types of life.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians.
Did you see his eyes, by the way? Go back and watch again. Maybe he's one of those lizards too. So it's 2026, and now they're talking about reptilians on the news. Now watch how insane this gets. So we have the 250th celebration coming up. Of course, the movie Independence Day shows the UFO over the White House. Remember the whole Illuminati card game? Church over Middle America? You remember the pastors just coming out like last week or 2 weeks ago? Which, by the way, if you follow me, you already knew that the pastors were going to do that because I've been telling you for 2 years about FEMA. Oh, look at this. And now Steven Spielberg is dropping that Disclosure movie or documentary coming out, I think, next month. We just had the upside down flag on the plate, 1776-2026, as if it's like the death date. Meanwhile, by the way, UFOs are showing up everywhere, and I even saw them in Florida 2 days ago. Look, I don't know exactly when this whole thing is going down. All I know is that this spiritual wickedness in high places hates the name Jesus. Remember that? You'll be golden. On the freaking news. Oh my goodness.
Well, yes, I mean, we've all seen it. I've been saying it for, gosh, a year and a half now. They are pushing this alien agenda. We all know about Project Bluebeam. And now it's on the mainstream news, man. They're going hardcore. The aliens are here. But, I mean, what do you think this is all about? Do you believe in space aliens, or do you think that this is just a complete psyop? Do you think there's anything to it? Do you think there's any other beings here? Or is it just, like Black Book military machines? We know they've got the drones and everything and all the high-speed planes, and we know that they're not showing us everything they got. So is it just a big, scam, right? Psyop by the government? Or, do you think they're terrestrial, from outer lands, from under the water? Like, what do you think's going on out there?
So I realized that I always talk about the spiritual war that we're in right now. And I realized maybe a lot of people don't know what that is. So here it is. The spiritual war that this planet finds itself in at this time is because we are infinite, divine, beautiful, creative, powerful beings, but we've been lied to about literally every single thing. Why would we have been lied to about every single thing? Well, I think there's big evil bad guys that are probably not human beings. There is no way they are human beings. They have infiltrated every aspect of this world. They have created and implanted these systems of control and enslavement to harvest our energy, to lower our consciousness levels, and to just basically fuel themselves off of it. It's kind of weird. This has been a war on God because we are children of God. That means we are divine, we are powerful, infinite beings, like I just said. But if you bring us into this realm thinking that we are unworthy and we lack something and we're not whole, we're not good enough, and we need to exchange our time, we need to work really hard, and we're not good enough to get the things that we want, and this is just how life is, just settle, just, all that stupid shit. Well, you're going to lower your level of consciousness because you are going to be operating on an overall lower vibrational frequency because you are going to have so much shit in your energetic field convincing you that you're a piece of shit and you're not good enough and you're unworthy. But that was never true. Like, none of that is true. That's how you know it's a spiritual war, because you have been convinced of something that you are not. They've convinced us that our purpose is what we do, not who we are. That creates a lot of distortion and chaos, which then feeds their system that they've put in place anyways. So when I say it's a war on God, don't run away too fast. It has nothing to do with religion. We have been living in the realm of darkness. Yeah. But luckily, no matter how much shit you put in the water or in the food or in the air, you can't stop this type of awakening, okay? And if you're watching this right now, I know you've already begun your awakening process, and I'm so proud of you because holy shit, sometimes you're rocked on your ass, aren't ya? I just launched my 3rd book, and it is How to Free Your Mind from the Matrix After Losing Your Shit. This will teach you everything that you need to know to let go of all of those limiting beliefs in your subconscious mind, in your nervous system, and how they keep you tied to the Matrix programming, all of that dark, lower frequency shit. There are so many different layers to having an awakening, and it's exhausting. It really is. I want you to stop focusing on how dark this world is. I know it's a spiritual war. It is. But since it is a spiritual war, we are all here to raise the frequency of the collective. Sometimes you do that by smiling at a stranger, and another time you will do that by using your unique abilities to actually serve people based on what you have to offer. Because yes, unlike the Matrix taught you, you have incredible, divine, unique value to offer this world. And the longer that you convince yourself that you do not, and you do not know what it is, you will not know what it is. We have to clear the space to welcome the insight that is from God, that is from your intuition. This book will help you do that. I'm not kidding. It's a spiritual war, but we're on the physical playing field. And we're kicking ass every day.
Yes, well, have you noticed the awakening? I've just been watching the world especially the last month. Something seems to have changed. Obviously less and less people are believing the narrative, but I don't know, like there's a lot more questioning coming out. People are starting to question the actual like truth and narrative, right? The conspiracy narrative, and saying that everything that we've been fed, as far as all these conspiracies may not be true, and where did they come from? And people are really questioning everything, is what I've noticed recently. But what have you noticed?
Google want to build a new AI data center in the UK. £5 billion investment. It would be as bad for the planet as building a small airport in Essex. Over 500,000 tons of carbon per year from this thing. That's the same as 500 short-haul flights from London to Spain every single week. They refer to this thing as a hyperscale data center, which sounds like something out of Star Wars, set on over 100 acres of land in Essex. Probably going to be unveiled this week when Donald Trump comes to the UK. Now, Google actually acknowledge these carbon emissions in their planning application, but they then describe them as minor and not significant in comparison to the UK's overall carbon budgets. The emissions may not even be the worst part. Last year, Google's data centers used 6 billion gallons of water. So if you live in that area right now, well, I'd take a bath while you can. What I don't dispute are the benefits of AI, potentially, especially in medicine and science, for example, but what I do dispute is where those benefits come from, because at the moment, we do not have the infrastructure for places like this, especially in an ever-changing world. What do you think on this? Do we need more of these hyperscale data centers, or are we better off without them?
Meta's new $27 billion AI data center is causing chaos in a small town in Louisiana. In February, I flew down to Louisiana, to Richland Parish, a rural county where Meta is building a mega AI data center. Just to put it in perspective for you, this AI data center is 4 million square feet, 2,250 acres. That's roughly 70 football fields. When I was in Richland Parish, I spoke to over a dozen residents and really got to hear their concerns. People are talking about how their rents are going up because there are thousands of workers coming from out of state, staying in these massive RV parks. I also spoke to local businesses that are suffering. While there are definitely businesses that are making money hand over fist, you're also finding small businesses that are struggling because they can't get in with the right people or get the right catering jobs for the Meta workers on site, for example. And then you're also just seeing a tremendous amount of noise and bright lights. This is a massive site that's brightly lit all night long, and people just see a halo over their house. It's important to keep in mind that this area of Northeast Louisiana has typically struggled with jobs, with poverty, and this AI data center is considered to be an economic boom opportunity for the whole region. A lot of people ask me whether these mega AI data centers are worth the disruption. I can tell you that I've now visited 5 across the country, in Texas and Michigan and in Arizona, as well as Louisiana. And I can say it's hard to tell how it's going to play out. They are incredibly disruptive. The residents often don't realize what's happening until it's already happening. There are many people who still hope that the long term is beneficial for these regions, but right now, it's chaos.
Data centers in Australia have largely been flying under the radar, but now one of the world's biggest could be coming to Sydney. A Western Sydney site the size of 52 rugby fields has been earmarked for a US-owned 1 gigawatt data center. It would make existing ones look tiny. Powering this new one would require 2.8 million solar panels, or almost half the output from Victoria's largest coal power plant. The water needed to cool it could be the equivalent usage of 80,000 households, and its planned diesel backup generators will likely cause noxious air pollution. Mega data centers in the US have caused serious problems for local communities, with electricity prices rising as much as 267% surrounding them. Besides the environmental and community concerns, there are signs that AI hype is slowing down. Major AI companies are already losing billions of dollars each year, and there are examples of newly built mega data centers sitting idle because of energy supply constraints. With both the federal government and the private sector looking to position Australia as a regional data center hub, even if this plan fails, we can expect mega data centers to be built here soon.
So are we ever going to talk about why all of these giant data centers are popping up all over America overnight, or are we just going to ignore that? Because if you ask me, I don't think it's for the reason they're telling us. I don't think they're building all these AI data centers so you could ask ChatGPT how long to boil water before making pasta. I think that's the cute little story they want us to believe. Because you don't need a data center almost 3 times the size of Manhattan for that. We have lived just fine without AI for thousands of years. And I also think this was locked in and approved before any of us thought we had a voice. So then why does the US have over 5,000 data centers? Maybe it's to gather more information on us. And just think about how they keep the economy struggling on purpose so we become more dependent on them. And these data centers suck up billions of gallons of water a day just for cooling. Almost every town in America is getting a data center. Nothing has ever expanded this quickly in American history without public approval. So yeah, I don't think this is about helping us at all. Something bigger is being built. The question is who it's really for.
Well, yes, we've all heard about the data centers, and we just heard, right? Most of these companies that are building them are losing, and they're losing billions of dollars creating all this infrastructure. So that's not really how companies are run, is it? So why are they doing it? I mean, that makes me think that there's an agenda, a massive agenda behind this, right? Because they're not doing it for profit. Of course, they're saying that, you know, in the future they'll profit, blah, blah, blah. But it's interesting, isn't it, that all these billionaires have been made from social media and from tech. And now all that money they've made, they're now putting into creating these AI data centers. And what do they need them for? Right? That's the next question. Like AI is running at the moment. So with the amount of data centers, the amount of space, like it's crazy, right? Just one of them, like what were they saying? 50 rugby fields, and the other one was, I don't know, 250 acres, something ridiculous. Like these are massive. So, you know, if this is real and this is what they're building, because it may not be, but if it is, then what can they do with that extra computing power? I mean, clearly they're building a surveillance state, right? And who knows what their plans are. I mean, they tell us their plans: complete surveillance, complete control. Is that what it's for? Or is there something else maybe attached to it? Like their God, El, right? The Jinn, the smokeless fire, the AI, you know, as Geordie Rose, the quantum computing guy, says, you know, worshipping at the feet of alien gods. Is that what this is all about? Let me know your thoughts.
So, Utah has approved a data center so massive, it's going to be more than twice the size of Manhattan. It's being built in the empty desert of northwestern Utah, near Snowville, close to the Idaho border. The project is called the Stratus Data Center, and it's being pushed by Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. But this isn't just one building. The full project could cover over 40,000 acres, an area bigger than Manhattan. That's around 62 square miles. For comparison, Manhattan is only about 22 square miles, meaning this AI complex could eventually take up nearly 3 times the space of Manhattan. And the power demand is even crazier. The site could eventually need up to 3 gigawatts of electricity, roughly the output of multiple nuclear reactors. Environmental groups warn it could raise Utah's planet heating pollution by nearly 50%. Estimates suggest the project's power systems could consume up to 16.6 billion gallons of water per year. That's enough water to fill around 25,000 Olympic swimming pools, all in one of the driest states in America.
Let me ask, though, about why taxpayers should have to pay for this if it's a private business and your tenants are some of the richest companies in the world. Why would taxpayers be required, as they now are, to subsidize this?
They don't necessarily have to do that. They just won't win any contracts. It's a competition.
But why are you getting tax breaks is my question.
Yeah, everybody, you go back and you say, what incentives can you give us to invest $15 billion in the first 1.5 gigs? That's what it takes. I have to go raise $15 billion.
Well,
That's just
okay,
the
but anyone who
first one.
starts a business, why should taxpayers have to pony up for that?
They don't. But
well, of course they do.
Others,
if you're getting a tax break and they're not, they're making up the difference. There's a state budget.
Hey, that's no problem. That's no problem. I can build it in Texas. I can build it in Jacksonville, Mississippi.
But why, if it's such a good business, would you be asking taxpayers to help pay for it without giving them equity in the company? Are you giving taxpayers shares?
No, the investors get the shares, but here's why they would do it.
But why would the taxpayers have to?
Well,
I mean, in other words, if you want to start a business, but why am I, as a taxpayer, forced to pay for your business? I don't get it.
I have no words. I mean, this is crazy, right? We, the taxpayers, are paying to build these data centers that are going to be used to enslave us. What a scam, right? It's insane. And that guy just didn't even want to go there. I mean, they're good at deflecting, aren't they? So yeah, they're building the new world order infrastructure around us, the surveillance state, and getting us to pay for it. What do you think about that?
After 2027, there will be no way back. Elon Musk said this in a podcast with Lex Friedman, a line that was later cut. When asked why, he fell silent for almost a minute.
Fuck, that's a scary minute.
Then he quietly said, shout out to Lex for letting him sit there with that. That's pretty heavy. Then he quietly said, it's not a catastrophe, it's a transition. The transcript left behind 3 themes that gave him away: autonomous intelligence, loss of meaning, and energy independence. It all sounded like a forecast, but now reads like a diagnosis of the era. The first sign is the collapse of attention. Musk said humanity will stop thinking in cycles. Planning for the future will shrink to the horizon of updates. That line hits me hard. People will stop building and start simply replacing. MIT research confirms a generation born after 2000 holds attention for about 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. I used to say that to Alessi, but he's gotten a lot better now. Musk called this cultural Alzheimer's. We're not losing memory, we're losing the ability to think. The second sign is artificial intelligence that no longer obeys. Musk says when a system starts correcting humans, that time of linear logic is over. Even now, algorithms decide who we date, what we buy, and what we think about. This isn't a machine its dissolution into convenience. People won't notice the moment when choice becomes an option, not a right. The third sign is energy dependence. Musk explains civilization can no longer survive even a day without electricity. By 2027, here it is, in his view, the balance will shift. Energy will become currency and control over it will become power. From that moment on, everything non-autonomous will disappear. This isn't an apocalypse, it's a change of biological form. At the end, he said a line that didn't make it on air. Technology is stronger than us, but not smarter. As long as we have meaning, we are alive. Lose it and we become code. Then, after a pause, he added, we must learn to be human before systems learn to be gods. Fuck. Are you ready for the transition, or already living in a world where choices are made for you?
Well, there's a script for you. This is what they want, right? Definitely, they want to make us less human. They want to make us think that we aren't these amazing creations and creators, right? Who get to choose and who get to do these, who have imaginations, who can feel and have wonder and love and all this stuff. They don't want us to have that because they don't have that, and that makes us uncontrollable. What we are in essence makes us uncontrollable, and that's what they want to take away. But there you go, he's talking next year, 2027. What are we going to do about this? Obviously unplugging, spending less time on the web, is a good thing, but that's not going to stop these data centers being built, is it? So I guess we need to start to come together and say no is the first thing. But I mean, I don't know, that Kevin O'Leary who's building that, 250-acre installment, he said he was worried about people buying drones and blowing up his data centers. Just saying.
You know what's funny about social media and all these dumbass content creators that feel as if they're like exposing truth and lies? If we were exposing anything that truly mattered or would make a difference, they wouldn't even allow us to have social media. Never mind pay us to actually make videos. Really think about it though. The only reason they allow us to have social media and make videos and pay us to do it is because most creators are just helping them spread the narratives that they want spread around. Most creators are helping further the division. They're helping to keep people in a constant state of fear and panic. They're helping to keep everyone confused and skeptical. Then when you do actually say too much of the right thing and give people something that could be beneficial to society, then they'll take your video down. The ones at the top who have all the power fully control the apps and the algorithm. So if you're seeing something, it's because they want you to see it. The amount of views that a video receives has nothing to do with engagement or watch time, and all you have to do is look at your analytics to prove that. We're not the ones creating the narratives, they are. Then content creators and AI accounts help spread them around. We're not given information or technology to keep us enlightened or benefit us in any way. It's given to us when it can be useful for them. Everyone thinks we're like exposing secrets on here. That's not what we're doing. They're exposing themselves and then we talk about it. Never about anything that actually matters, and if it is, then they just take the video down. It's honestly so dumb. It's like, to get views on here, you have to talk about what they want you to be talking about, the main narratives. And if not, then you're gonna get no views and make no money and also risk having your video taken down. I think most creators aren't even aware that they're doing exactly what they're hoping you do, which is talk about the things that they're putting directly in front of your face constantly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an interesting point, and I definitely agree that you know, they push narratives and they use us, you know, creators to help push them. And I've said it before, you know, so much of this, especially short form, it's just, they're just talking about what's on the news, and I don't think that's helpful, especially with fear. I mean, and that's why I've started this channel. I've been doing it for, gosh, 6 months or something now, and it is to try and give a different perspective on all this stuff, because that's what I was seeing is just all this. Everyone's just pumping out the same stuff and rehashing it, you know, turning one piece of content into a billion, right? But I mean, I think we need to be aware of what's going on, you know, around us, you know, like the data centers, right? And another thing, and, you know, I think that guy's a smart dude, but the fact that he's getting on and saying that and it's not being taken down, doesn't that prove that, you know, some of the content that is not what they want to get out necessarily is still getting out? I don't think their control is as total as they want us to think it is. It's obviously getting there, like with AI. Like my last 3 or 4 videos have been censored. I've been muted mid-video. And, you know, thanks for everyone for letting me know this in the comments. And other bits and pieces have been going on, and that's not me. That's part of the uploading process. They're literally muting me. So, guys, I've started uploading all these videos to Rumble. Link is down below. Go join, follow me there. I'm starting Odyssey as well, so I'll start trying to get these up there as well, and I'll let you know if you're into Odyssey. But YouTube is like, yeah, it's going hardcore again as far as the censorship. But what do you think? Do you think that they've got total control, and that, you know, that whatever gets out, they want to get out? Or do you think that they haven't got total control and there is still, you know, truth getting out there? Because there seems to be a little bit of it. Or do you think it's that there's a good force there somewhere that's letting some of the alternate points of views get through? Because it does kind of seem like that as well. Let me know your thoughts on that.
Good morning, Henry. Would you like some donuts?
Have you been waiting? Huh? Have you been waiting? You know what day it is, don't you? Yeah, it's Donut Day.
Most insane internet rabbit holes that are oddly convincing, part 80,085. We are living on a giant motherboard, and ancient structures were built as circuit boards to harness the Earth's natural energy to power civilization. And it was neither humans nor aliens that came up with this. Oh, we deep in these weeds today, Custa. Why does this 13th century cathedral have the exact same pattern on its floor as this circuit board? We're not even talking kinda similar. This is a one-to-one perfect match. And this isn't just any circuit board, but one for a specific device called a Schumann resonator, a small low-frequency electronic device designed to generate electromagnetic radiation tuned to approximately 7.83 hertz, the exact frequency that the Earth's atmosphere vibrates at, called the Schumann resonances, or the heartbeat of the Earth. Frequencies that are said to be able to harness energy, free natural energy from the ether that these resonator devices attempt to mimic. This floor is from the Chartres Cathedral in France, built in 1220 AD. The Schumann resonances weren't discovered until the 1960s, and its related circuit board much later, yet somehow their patterns are literally identical, which could, in theory, imply that old structures like these may have been power plants that captured and transmitted these natural resonating frequencies of the Earth to power ancient societies, who possess lost esoteric knowledge of harnessing free energy from the Earth that they built all around the world. Giza pyramid power plant theories step aside. This is the world power plant theory. And the more we look, the more we see it everywhere. Repeating patterns in ancient sites around the world that almost precisely resemble computer circuit boards. From ancient Egyptian cities to those in ancient Mexico. From a bird's eye view, they all have very similar, extremely structured grid-like layouts to them that really do look like modern electronics. These are some insanely calculated measurements here, which they would never do just at random. Here's an aerial view of the ancient ruins in... oh wait, no, never mind, that's just a dusty motherboard. This is an Egyptian pyramid next to a microprocessor, and the layout of an Osirian temple beside a computer chip. Now I'm not saying this is real, just another insane rabbit hole that I'm laying out for you. But now, what if it was neither humans, nor past civilizations, nor even aliens that designed this? I'ma let this meme right here do the explaining, because this might kinda blow your mind. The life cycle of AI. First, humanity gets advanced enough to be able to research AI, as we have been doing for the past few decades. Then we perfect AI, and I think we can agree we're slowly or maybe quickly getting there. Then AI perfects itself, followed by AI enslaving humanity, forcing us to build its energy gathering components into the greatest source of power we have available, the Earth itself. As we see with all those structures and precise mathematical layouts of ancient sites resembling circuit boards. It wasn't aliens, it wasn't some long-lost advanced civilization, it wasn't interdimensional beings, it was AI that built the pyramids. If AI ever manages to perfect itself and then take over humanity, we can all assume its next logical step would be to conquer the entire Earth as its own. What better way to conquer it than harnessing the Earth's natural energy for its own use, by building its hardware directly into its surface, until an inevitable solar flare disables AI, like, I don't know, the mighty Zeus throwing a powerful thunderbolt at it, freeing humanity from its grip of enslavement, which in turn causes humanity to then worship the sun in the form of sun gods for saving them, repurposing the pyramids and structures that powered AI for simple human needs like tombs. And the cycle of human civilization repeats as we technologically evolve over the next millennia just to create AI all over again. Of course, this is purely speculation, a wild theory that may or may not be true, but hey, that's what internet rabbit holes are all about now, aren't they?
Well, there you go. What do you think of that one? Just cycles and cycles of AI rising and taking over and then falling. I mean, it's an interesting thought. The thing is, I don't think that AI would build with, beauty, right? Sure, the pyramids and, some of the temples and that, but why all the facading and why all the beauty, right, that's put into them and the creativity? That doesn't make sense. I guess you could argue that maybe that was done later. I don't know. Do I think AI has been in control before? I mean, it definitely may have been, right? I think it's much older than we're told, and it could literally be ancient. It could be their God, right? The AI God from the electronic circuit, the L, the closed circuit, which is the same as the demiurge, really, from the Gnostics' point of view. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that.
I've got an important question to ask y'all. Are you happy? Do you find yourself filled with joy following this system of things? Do you find that your questions are being answered, that your curiosity is being piqued, or do you feel yourself being lulled to sleep? Because there's an entire system out there that's benefiting from you being asleep, that's benefiting from you not being awakened fully. And I mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, consciously. That's what all this work is about. I have no other benefit than to try and benefit the earth. That's what make way for life means. It's your own personal growth, and it's allowing the world to grow with us. So you do everything that you can, everything that you possibly can, to be conscious of all the things that are around us, because that is what living is. That is what being in the Christ presence means, or being in the Christ-like state. It's being like Christ. That's what Christian means. It means like Christ, not partially, but fully, in that whole being of knowing that when you look in the mirror, you see God, and when God looks in the mirror, God sees you. Don't ever let anyone take that from you. You are made in the image of the Creator. But guess what? So is everything else. So everything deserves that sacred respect. And when you give that sacred respect out, it comes back to you, because they all recognize the divinity in you. Don't let anyone take that from you. No one. Make way for life.
Make way for life. Yes, I approve this message. Yeah, thanks, Terence. Yeah, I agree. Like we're all caught up. There's all these issues and problems, and people are stressed out and feeling lost, and mental illness. All this kind of stuff going on. And really, it's the world that we've been pulled into. It's the closed circuit, the L circuit, that's now turning into data centers and AI, and of course all the fear around that it's just going to get worse, and how are we going to get through this? And I think we need to just, like you said, make way for life. Spend time out in the garden, spend time walking, talking with friends, conversations, real things, building something. Just we need to get back to being actual men and women, earthlings, right? Earthlings. That's what we need to get back to being, in my opinion.
So it was actually aired on the news that people are hearing voices in their head, and even more so, these people think that for some reason they are targeted. We'll get to something completely unrelated in 1 second.
Hundreds of people in the valley say they are hearing voices in their heads. And those voices are being transmitted by microwave or other methods.
Well, several viewers asked us to investigate what they call electronic harassment. KMIR 6's Angela Monroe joins us now with what she's discovered. Angela.
Electronic harassment, synthetic telepathy, voice-to-skull technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms, but after searching the internet, I found dozens of websites dedicated to the phenomenon and several Valley residents who say they're victims.
How much more can you invade me than to go into my brain? It sounds like somebody else is reading the book, only its thoughts.
And of course, right now of all times, we have Luna and the Congress bring forth legislation or a hearing on MK Ultra. Which, by the way, I saw a video claiming that Voice to Skull was the future version of MK, and that's not true. I'll break it down in 1 second. But of course, we have this patent which literally combats the Voice to Skull patent. So obviously, it's true, otherwise there wouldn't be a patent, right? I wonder who would be beaming voices into these people's skull, right? Alright, so there's one main video, and it's the reason a lot of people are making videos saying that Voice to Skull is the future mode of MK. But that's not true at all. They're two completely different things. Because MK is a way that they induce trauma. They can use a TV screen or real life events and induce trauma to a person to then control the outcome of that person when they're in a certain mind state. Of course, they're not using the news and the TV in your living room to create these trauma-based mindsets. No way. So MK is trauma-induced actions. Voice to Skull is basically hypnosis on independent particular people, whichever one, whoever is doing this chooses. Because they'll hear these words in their head so many times to the point where they think it's them and they think it's real, and then they will act on this. It's very similar, but it's totally not the same thing. Because what if I told you these both were going to be used in conjunction for this great massive deception? Fiction story here, of course, trauma will be induced from the news and from the TV screens, make people act off emotions. And then when they see something in the sky, they'll have Voice to Skull and they'll believe that it's something very serious to them. But know this, if they are doing a hearing for something, that's because they actually want you to know it. Ask yourself, why?
Why indeed? Why do they let us know that they've got this technology? It's a good question. Or do they have total control over it? That's another good question. But yeah, Voice to Skull, also known as the Voice of God technology, where they can literally implant voices and thoughts into your head. At least that's what they want us to think. I've never met anyone that it's happened to, but you know, this whole, this scenario out there of people who assassinate people, that are programmed through this Voice to Skull. There was stories on it a few years ago coming from, they'd put up some poles or antennas or something and they were trialing it. But again, I don't know if this is true. This is just stuff that's coming from the news, right? From the mainstream, stuff that they want us to believe. So they at least want us to believe it. But, let me know. What are your thoughts on it? Do you have any experience with it? Is it real? Is it not? Is it just more fear? This whole AI thing, like how real do you think it is? Do you think it is a real threat and it's going to take us all over next year because it's growing so fast? Or do you think that there's a lot of psyop behind it, a lot of fear spreading behind it, a lot of controlling the narrative? Do you think that it is as good as they claim it is? Or do you think that it's a story, right, to make us to believe something, to make us more submissive because we think we can't stop it? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Let me know your thoughts.
It's official. Women are more scary than men to birds. And the reason why is kind of a mystery. So scientists just conducted a study across Europe to see if birds respond differently to an approaching human based on their gender. Men and women were placed in pairs across 7 cities in 5 different European countries, and they took turns walking towards birds and then measuring at which point they flew off. This is a great use of tax money. And it turns out birds are far less scared of men, who can actually get on average 1 meter closer before they start running or flying away. But what's crazy is that this pattern was consistent across 37 different species of birds and across all regions tested. And to make it even more insane, researchers actually did everything they could to minimize the obvious differences between genders. They were placed in pairs of the same height, they wore similar clothing, they covered up their hair, but somehow these birds could still tell them apart. And the reason why or how, they don't know. In fact, the co-authors of the study said they just can't explain the results, and we have identified a phenomenon, but we don't know why. So the question is, and I'm scared to ask it, What do you guys think about this?
What can you say about that? I mean, the stupidity never ends. This is what they're spending money on. What possible outcome are they after that's beneficial? Like, seriously, there's people who can't afford houses at the moment and they're spending money on this. That is just insane. And we're paying for it too, by the way, if you happen to live in one of these lucky countries where you know if the bird is more scared of you or your partner, or the other opposite sex, yes, you've paid for it as well. So there you go, guys. We're at the end of another romp through the strange realm, and that was strange. Obviously, the data set is, a little bit, disconcerting what's going on, but this most of it is fear, and to get us into submission so we don't do anything. So what we really need to do is something, right? Make plans, walk in a different direction, get out in nature. Don't support these. Stop paying your taxes. That would help. All these types of things. But let me know what are you doing to get out there and to change the world, to get back to nature and stop this AI god of theirs encroaching on our world, because they're serious. I mean, I don't believe at all that they can win. I think they've already lost, but they're going to keep putting as much fear and chaos up as they can as they go down. But thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please do give me a like, share it around, hype it up and all that good stuff. And of course, if you're not subscribed, what the bloody hell are you doing? Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button and you'll be notified of future uploads. Apparently, hopefully, a lot of comments saying that people aren't being notified about my channel. They're being unsubscribed. Of course, they're messing with the videos. So sorry about all that. There's not a lot I can do, but I have started uploading to Rumble, so you'll find the link below. There's no censorship or anything like they're doing on YouTube here. So go over there, start supporting Rumble, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And most of all, guys, stay awesome because you are, and I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
God damn it. No, don't get. Oh.
Oh.
Don't even talk to me.
Are you alright?
Yo, you don't got your